Welcome back to the Reggies. You're sitting here with three blokes who could have been anything but decided to have fun instead. We've got a very special episode today. This is our Tom Barbary special. Barbs the Brizzy Horseman. He's a great friend of the show. It's going to be a little bit different today. We're going to do more of a, not an interview, but just have a yarn with Barbs about where he's come from, what he's done in the racing industry. It's great to have you on, mate. It's 9:30 a.m. on a Saturday, and just for a bit of context in time, the Melbourne Demons lost to Carlton last night, so it's a while ago, I know. We've had this one in the bank. How you feeling, mate?
No. Thanks for mentioning that, Groper.
That's all right, mate.
Last night we were at your joint, proper on one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm screaming at the television for 4 minutes, as you can probably hear, boys. And I just turned around. I didn't blow up. I didn't carry on. That's why I got the sunnies on, because I fucking look like shit. I didn't carry on. I just walked straight down to where I'm staying, took my Melbourne shirt off, and put my Mighty Ducks jumper on and said, fuck this, I'm following ice hockey.
And then played some of the best tunes ever to be played around the fire button.
You just would have seen that.
Oh,
that was on Instagram.
He's fucking on the phone before he came here and he goes, I reckon I should throw the guitar in.
Fucking oath.
And they said, yeah, fucking oath. Just thinking he might be able to play a bit. He's doing mashups, fucking covers of shit.
Right.
She was
Little
great.
did he.
Could not believe it. I was in shock most of the time.
Mate, the neighbours kept trying to get in and we had to say, fuck off, out of here.
There was a big bouncer out the front.
Yeah, but no, mate.
Have you got the invoice from that bloke yet? Fuck, that's going to be expensive, bro.
What invoice?
The amount of people that bloke had to turn away. Rome.
Mate, when did you learn how to play the fucking guitar?
Nah, so I've always been like in and around music. Dad was a muso and stuff like that. And I had a moment about, it'd be 10 years ago, 12 years ago now. I just had a moment, went through a pretty ordinary breakup. Just went, fuck it. I'm going to spend $2,500 on a piece of timber I don't know what to do with.
Yeah, you used to play the drums or something, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit at school and
then
fucked around in bands and stuff, like not very well.
I just couldn't believe it. I was in shock.
And
well, you're not a background bloke, you're a front man.
Yeah, you're right, you know.
Well, I was just pumped that you bought it because my missus can sing.
Well, that's the thing that I said to her last night. I'm like, Wendy... And like Mrs. Barbs, the Brisbane Horseman, said, Rox has said to Wendo, listen, you need to think of some songs over the weekend, like we're here till Monday, and we'll, sit around Sunday Arvo or something like that.
She craves to have someone to play music with, so I thought it was awesome. Well done.
Yeah, and it's just a great, that skill, mate, to play the guitar like that, doesn't it just turn a piss up around? Like
mate, it's like I'm never one to, like, I might put it out there every now and again and say, yeah, I can do it. But if someone knows me and I'm at a piss up and it's there, just grab hold of it. Like it does. If that was last night, if there was an absolute side of Melbourne supporters that got fucked by Carlton, like that would have been the only thing to bring morale up.
Yeah.
On the drink,
I was a bit disappointed in you that you threw the jersey off straight away, though.
Toys out of the cot
toys out of the cot. Well, hang on.
Yeah. We had a fire going. The shirt nearly went in there.
When you kick 8 goals, 17,
and
get beat by fucking 2 points, there's a reason.
You kept saying second quarter, third quarter, and then the last quarter, you're like, if we fucking lose this, it's because all those behinds we've kicked.
Just kick straight. You've got one job, cunt. Kick it between the middle posts.
Yeah.
Anyway, very unfortunate to see him go out in straight sets.
Yeah.
Gone.
But Hawthorn didn't make it, Ryan.
3 in a row, mate.
Barbary, what was it feeling like, mate, to be delivered your baggy, Reg? Can you run us through that?
Dead set. That was
best feeling you've ever had?
Yeah, it was massive. It was like, I never played a game of senior footy, and I can only imagine that's what the jumper presentation would have been like. But I said in the reel, I'm like, I feel like I'm going to play my first test for Australia.
Yeah. Well, you fucking performed after that. So.
Well, it took 5 for a mate.
It was unreal.
It was like Superman putting his cape on.
Yeah. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to try. We're not going to have our usual segments where we talk about the sport, talk about the punt. because this has been pre-recorded a while ago, so we're just going to dive into a Barbs and talk about his love for the racing industry, where he started, where he is now. Just a heap of shit, because
And it will be
I
shit.
reckon 80% of the Reggies out there that are listening aren't like, they're just your average run-of-the-mill, likes to have a punt on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Mow the
doesn't
lawn
sort of-
Saturday
Well,
morning
mate, I'm a
and go through
perfect
the form
example
guide.
for it. I'd love to sit there on a Saturday when I get the chance, a bit of spare coin, and have a go on the horses, but I know fuck all really about it, and I'll be the first one to admit it. So it'll be good understanding a bit from you, mate, giving them a bit of an insight on what it actually takes for a horse to win a race and go through the prep and the luck it has to have,
There's
barriers and everything.
400 million things. Like, we could sit here. This could go, like you said, Gropes, it's 9:30 on a Saturday morning. We could talk till 2 a.m. Sunday about
And
this.
we're ripping into a better beer because
Yeah.
that's fucking how tough we are.
Oh, we've had 900 of them last night.
Righto. So straight up, I just want to. Where'd you grow up? I'm pretty sure I know where you grew up, but tell the listeners where you grew up and how you got into the racing industry.
So I'm from a little...
Briefly,
Yeah. Oh, mate, can you ever get this bloke off the phone?
mate. Oi, Reggies. If Barbs ever says, "Give me your number," just beware that he will ring you, and I love it. He rings me every day.
Every day.
But you just
Mayo?
got to know when to go, Barbs, I've got to fucking go. I'll call you later. Because he will ignore that and just spin another yarn and go, yeah, so, and, mate, I've got to fucking go.
Well, this is his time to shine, Barbary.
So back to the question. I grew up little country town, the northwestern corner of Victoria, right on the Murray River there at Mildura. And my grandfather trained racehorses for, 35, 40 plus years. He started as an amateur jockey and eventually got a trainer's ticket. And they had horses for, like I say, 35 plus 40 years. I can remember being 5 and 6 year old, filling up water buckets, feeding up, all that sort of
Prime.
stuff.
Yeah.
The dream.
There's one story I've got a scar on my leg from it. Myself and my little brother's job was to wash the syringes out, like that he used to measure all the oils and all the supplements out with. And this one day, it was about 48 degrees in the shade, and we're squirting one another with the syringes, like washing them out, squirting one another because it's so fucking hot. And I said, "Oi, Junior, get Grandpa." So Grandpa's there over this chaff bag, mixing, like he used to tip all the feeds onto a chaff bag, and then mix them up, and then pick the chaff bag up and tip back in the bucket. And he thought it was a great yarn to start with for like 3 times. And he looked up from the chaff bag, and he had, like all grandfathers do, I think they had one of those looks that, "Oi, I've had enough. I'm fucking working." Right?
Yeah.
So being the big brother, stirring the young fella on, I'm going, "Get him one more time, you'll be right." No. So Josh has squirted him again. He's kicked Josh hiding. "Get up inside with your grandmother." Whack. Kicked him up the doot. And I'm leaning against the float shed, laughing my ass off. Grandpa's walked in the feed room door, and there's there's a three-pronged pitchfork, and he's just grabbed it, backhanded, thrown it like a javelin. It's stuck in me fucking leg. I went, "Ah!" "What was that for?" So I copped a kick in the doot. "Get up inside with your grandma. That's fair. Get your little brother on, you little cunt." That sort of thing. Like when you're in the bush, I'm certain everyone's grandparents were like if you never copped a smack on the ass,
Yeah.
you know
you're
what I
not a
mean?
Reggie.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's dead right.
Well, it sort of shows if if you haven't copped one hiding in your life, it sort of shows.
You're exactly right, Tommy, and especially in this day and age with the entitlement and the woke bullshit, it is so fucking true.
We could do another whole show on
Oh,
woke.
don't even get me started.
Right, so that's when you were a real little kid,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. So,
but when you got your first job in the racing industry, I know who it was with. Anthony Cummings, I believe.
Yeah. So
Son of Bart Cummings and James Cummings, who now trains for the Godolphin, is Anthony's son. Just for people to get a bit of a reference.
Bart was Jim's grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to know, when you first started, we'll call you we'll just say first or second year apprentice in the stables. I know you're not an apprentice, but you've just started. What's some of the fucking shittest jobs that you got to do around the stables as one of the young blokes?
I can remember one day there. So there was this old fella when I worked for Anthony. I was only there for 3 months. Went down to Melbourne as like a 17-year-old kid, bit wet between the ears, and I went down there and so horses bedding in their boxes, like what they actually have on the floor. So nowadays,
So we call that bedding.
bedding, yeah. So
Righto.
nowadays you use like shavings, like timber shavings.
Yep.
But years ago, they used to use straw. And we had shavings boxes, don't get me wrong, but there was a few boxes in the joint that were straw because horses had feet problems and shit like that. And obviously 500 kilos standing on compressed timber, it creates more problems in the hoof. So these horses were on these straw boxes, and there's this old Kiwi fella there, Graham. I'll never forget him. Fuck, he was funny. And he had this fucking mow, mate. It went for 3 days. Like, seriously, like, it was like out here. And he's like, do you know how to do a straw box?
Here we go. We're going to do an accent now.
I'm like, mate, I grew up doing straw boxes. Like, copped a pitchfork in the leg. I know how to do a fucking straw box. Anyway, I've done this straw box this day. And you've got to, so the way you do a straw box, you throw all the dry straw up around the wall. You pick up the shit with gloves on, wrap the straw around it, sort of thing, put it in the bin, and then you pick up all the wet straw. Then you rake, you let it dry for 10 or 15 minutes, the floor, I mean, and then you rake the straw back down and you put extra straw in where it needs to be and all that sort of shit. And I'm looking at this thing going, how fucking good does this look? I'd lay on the cunt myself. And Graham walks past and he goes, you admiring real work, bro?
You what?
You admiring your work, bro?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just sort of standing there having a bungo, just, fuck, that looks good. And this bloke just goes, that's fucking shit, bro. Like, dead set, just went, my 2-year-old fucking granddaughter would do better than that. Like, I was so proud of this fucking box that I'd done. He's like, bruss, that's fucking ordinary.
Oh, mate, did he do it for you? Or did
No,
he
he just
make you do it?
turned around. He went, catch her. I went, hold up. What's wrong with it? Nah, nothing. Just kept walking.
Like Wayne Bennett sort of vibe.
Yeah, 100%.
Bit of
Keeping
Bennett
you on
vibes.
the level.
I just went, what the fuck? So, like, as a young kid, as a young fella and a first time in the stable, so you'd be doing boxes, which basically means picking up shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
what I do for a living. Yes, while it looks great on Sky Channel and the fancy frocks and the bag of fruits that you wear and all that sort of shit,
Yeah.
it's a great thing, but it's not a glamorous job, mate. I go to work every day. I could wear this shirt to work, come home, and it looked like it's yellow.
Yeah.
Because just the dust and all that. So it's not a glamorous job whatsoever.
Yeah.
What you see on TV is not what it is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm pumped to sort of fucking get into because of how much needs to go. How many blokes, like I was saying before to you, Tommy, off air, that we go watch some races on Sky One and you back a horse and it runs 6th or 7th and you go, that thing's fucking shit. But the amount of fucking things that need to go into a race and into a prep for a horse to run well is fucking outrageous. So I just... take me hat off to you because the amount of abuse that you blokes would cop
don't even go there.
from owners that have no fucking idea.
Yeah,
And you just go, mate, he ran super. I know he ran 6, but he ran so well.
Do you
and
know
they
what
just
the
go,
one thing-
why didn't the cunt win?
the one thing that I love is when we get a new horse in the joint, right? And I'll say to the boss, I'll go, oi, Lenz, who owns this? And he might say one name. And I go, what, he owns it all himself?
Don't name him.
No. He might say one name and I go, so he's got 100% of this horse? And he'll go, oh, no, there's other shareholders and shit. I'll go, oh, fuck. When you get one bloke or one woman or one family that own a horse, thank Christ. because you've got one person to keep happy or
Yeah,
one
yeah,
group
yeah,
of people
yeah.
to keep happy. It's when you've got 40 blokes that have got 2.5% shares, 5% shares, 10% shares.
So exactly
Yeah,
like the Alpha
exactly
Bloke
like the
sauce.
Alpha Bloke sauce. It's so hard to keep everyone happy.
Yeah.
Like you might make a gear change, or you might nominate for 2 races and they draw good in both races, and like you're never gonna keep everyone happy.
Just real quick for the listeners, I know what it is, but what's a gear change?
So like if the ultimate gear change.
What's gear?
Gear. So gear's not what you're thinking.
So
Reggies.
you got blinkers.
Winkers.
Blinkers go over your eyes.
They're
and
like a big cup. That
Yeah.
It basically every Reggie in the world would have heard you've got your blinkers on.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah,
tunnel
yeah.
visioned.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it means. So winkers are like, they look like toilet rolls on the side of the bridle.
So if you ever see the toilet rolls on the side of the head, they're winkers.
They're winkers. There's a nose roll, which obviously it's self-explanatory, goes across their nose.
Yeah.
Stops them jumping shadows. Then there's a brow band, which sits above their head, and it stops them it brings their head down. So like they think that they're going to run into something.
So all these little tweaks and things that trainers and stuff can do just to sharpen the horse up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that'll be things you'll try, Barbs. If you're like, it's doing a bit of this, we'll try this.
Yeah,
race and see
exactly.
if it
So like
improves.
if a horse has got a high head carriage, like in their action, like they're carrying their head really high and they're getting their fucking head up and looking at the sky, put a brow band on it, sort of lowers their vision. Like when, like any of the AFL boys out there, lower your eyes.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. Like just...
Is that what like you use the trials and that for a lot?
Yeah,
mate?
exactly. Yeah, so jump outs and stuff like that, or you might gallop them in it, like give them a piece of fast work. Like,
Yeah.
So if you put blinkers on a horse, I think it's the only. Oh no, winkers might be the same. Can't exactly remember the rules, but when you see blinkers on first time, like
Wait, that's what I was just about to say. The oldest trick in the book.
blinkers on first
If you
time.
ever
son.
see in the gear changes on the form guide, blinkers first time,
Yeah, if it's
just
$5,
have a quick look at it.
if it's $5, it immediately becomes $2.50 in my book.
Yeah. Blinkers first time.
You have to declare the fact that you've worked the horse in blinkers to the stewards
Yeah.
or winkers. So, like those sort of things. Then there's stuff like a tongue tie. It sounds really, really cruel, but it's a sort of thing. You've got to be cruel to be kind. So what happens when a horse gallops and when they breathe, they've got a flap on the back of their larynx that opens and shuts, and that's what, because obviously they're not fucking straight upright like we are. They've got a neck that goes down, and that flap opens and shuts, and sometimes they call it a soft palate. There's a displacement of it, and their tongue can actually affect that. So if they run with their tongue curled up in the back of their throat, that'll displace their soft palate. So you tie their tongue with the stocking. So what you do is you tie a little knot, you put their tongue through it, and you tie it down under their jaw, and that keeps their tongue flat.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a case of if a horse gets its tongue over the bit, or if a horse gets that displacement going, they'll do what we call choke down. So they'll literally run till they've got no air left, and then they fall over or they stop or they. So it's like a case of cruel to be kind sort of setup.
Yeah.
People go, oh, you tied their tongue down, you're a horrible bastard, and all that sort of stuff. And the shit that we cop from like animal activists and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, I can imagine.
I get the shits with it so much. I can remember one day, 3 or 4 years ago, Melbourne Cup morning. I'm driving down Nudgee Road in Brisbane.
That's when they all come out too.
Exactly. That's only the one day of the year. Like,
Yeah.
they don't give a fuck about the Cox Plate or the Caulfield Cup. No, they come out Melbourne Cup Day.
Yeah.
Don't worry about every other the 52 Saturdays at Doomben or Eagle Farm every year.
Yeah.
They come out on the first Tuesday in November. It took me everything not to just go and run all fucking over them. Like, seriously. Because I know dudes that have got 2 or 3 horses in work, and they put everything into their horses, mate.
That's right.
They're like their children. These blokes have got Jack the Dancer, they've got fucking kidney disease, they've got heart problems. They will literally sacrifice their own health to care for their horse. If they've got a vet bill worth fucking $2,000, they're not going to have the treatment they need themselves. These old fellas that were like they had 50 in work years ago. Now they've got 2 or 3 just for something to do.
Yeah.
And they put everything into them. And it's not just those blokes. It's everyone in the racing industry. They become like people say to me, "Oh, I'll meet someone." They go, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" "Oh, train racehorses." Like, what's that like? It's like having 27 4-legged children that can't speak English, bruss. And then you hear these fucking cocksuckers. "Oh, it's cruel. Oh, it's fucking nasty." Oh. Excuse me?
Yeah, I hate hearing it.
Do I come to your workplace and fucking annoy the piss out of you with your fucking kale? Like, fuck off, cunt.
Mate, 100%. And it's one of those things that from a very young age, you would have been exposed to the industry, like you said, with your grandfather and stuff like that. And, mate, it would have been a thing for you where it's probably a good thing because by the sounds of it, it's not something that you could just decide when you're 24, "Oh, I might train racehorses."
It's not. Like,
was it a thing since you were a young fella that you're like, "I actually want to do this"? Like you have the passion there and it's like, "I want to do this as a job"?
Mate, I always loved it. They are the most beautiful creatures on planet Earth. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, you're a dog person or you're a cat person." No. I'd happily have a racehorse or any sort of horse in the backyard because they are they're an unbelievable fucking animal. They're some of the cleverest animals in the world. I fucking love it, mate. And I always loved it. Originally, I wanted to be a chef. That's what I wanted to do.
True.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I found out the hours they work.
Oh.
And now knowing what I know now about the racing industry, I'm thinking, you're a fuckwit. You should have been a chef.
Yeah, but every chef's a drug addict, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they're either a drug addict or an alcoholic, I think.
Anyway.
So you would have been right.
That fucking...
Edit that out, BT.
Everyone, no one would have just seen that, but I just had to fucking lean forward on the chair and stop myself from laughing after the fucking kale comment. Barbs is telling a super serious story and I just couldn't fucking stop laughing. No, that's fucking awesome because, like you say, you guys love that animal so fucking much and it pisses me off every year when you see these activists and they... Honestly, it's people that have zero idea about the industry at all and they just get... Oh, they're like activists maybe for something else.
Mate,
it's just a jump on the bandwagon.
And they jump on and they have no idea. And if you took one of them and you said, "Hey, come for a day.
Yeah.
Come to the stables for a day and I'll show you around," they would be blown away and they'd fucking come back and work for free the next day.
Mate, it's the same with all of them. The same with anything that they're doing. It's like the vegans and shit about killing animals to eat them and all that shit. They don't realise that you have to fucking blow about 600 roos off a crop every 2 nights to fucking keep their food.
Their
alive.
soybeans
It's
and
the
their
same,
fucking wheat.
It's the same with all of them, man.
I absolutely think that it's fine if they're going to protest about stuff as long as they have gone out and seen how it actually works and they still don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
go for it. Have your
quickly
opinion
on that. Like,
yeah, we won't get tied up too much.
No, but I went and did a trade. So I'm a butcher by trade, right?
That's right. I remember that.
So I went from looking after animals to cutting them up, to back to looking after them, right? And I did a little stint at the meatworks in Brizzy at, where was it?
I'll get you a job at Tanner Meats.
Just over the Gateway Bridge there at Australian Country Choice. I went to work one morning, knives slung over the shoulder, bag in the hand, and there's all these activists, vegan activists, animal activists, out the front of our workplace. All you're trying to do is go there and earn $1.
Yeah.
And I've got 4 knives in a pouch slung over my shoulder, and they want to come and get up you. What? Do you actually understand what I have on my fucking shoulder? But it's the same, like you say, it's the same thing, Groves. It's just a bandwagon thing.
Yeah. I don't mind it if they fucking have been and seen the industry and still don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Which I don't, like 95% of people, if they went in and did a day with you at LJ Golf, they would go, "Holy fuck, you guys love these things."
That's what I mean. Like, and that's... They become like your children. Like,
yeah.
there's horses there that have.
Well, mate,
They become individuals, and you know their stories. And I've got one there. There's one horse there called Apophis that has. He took a long time to come up. He took a long time to mature, and he had an accident where he hit his head on the float, and basically scalped himself. He had 18 stitches across his forehead, like the vet was there, and I was there through it all. And he's now a bit touchy, and you've got to know him. But I know him. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's little things like that. They all become their own sort of, their own individual person, like their individual self.
Yeah.
Like, they have all these little idiosyncrasies that you must learn. Otherwise, you can't treat them all the same. Like, they're
Can't
all
have the same connection with that
Exactly.
animal because they're a different.
and that would all just come from obviously years of experience.
Yeah, correct. It's not an apprenticeship. It's
Yeah.
like
You'd learn something new about horses and stuff your whole career.
Bart Cummings turned around in his book. I read Bart's book. I think he published it in 2010 or something before he died. He might have died before that. Fuck, I can't remember. It's a long time ago.
I think his last Melbourne Cup winner was
08.
08. Viewed.
Viewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I backed Bauer. Got beat a fucking nostril.
Yeah, that was fucking. That was a proper pimple.
Yeah.
That was that close. Anyway.
And Bart said the best thing about my job, in his book he wrote this, I'm 83 years of age and I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're in the racing industry, it doesn't matter if you're in the electrical industry, it doesn't matter if you're in the podcasting industry, it doesn't matter if you're in any sort of industry. I think the one thing you can take from that is the minute you close off and think you know everything, you're fucking useless.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Fuck, man, how many blokes would do that in our old industry, Tommy?
Fucking proper.
in the
mate.
mining game, I've been here for
just-
30 years, fucking,
Yeah. Or they just shut off and don't want to learn anymore,
Yeah.
and they just become useless cunts.
Or,
But-
mate, it's more like a thing where their way might work fine, but if someone finds a new way that is more efficient or better, they just don't want to hear about it at all.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
it's
they
like,
become-
no, this way works. And
they
it's like,
become
well,
set
I
in their
know,
way.
bro.
Horse
but,
trainers are the same.
but it's like, check this out. And I think it's just being open to ideas, and you can, in your head, you can shut it down or whatever, but I think it's always good to be open and take advice from people, because
100%.
what's it going to hurt?
We
100%.
mentioned this a couple of weeks ago about the Goff stable and how fucking well they're going. But I want to take us back a couple of weeks before that. Barbs rings me up for the daily chat.
Fuck, you can put some money
And
on shit.
he's a bit down, you know. He's going, fuck, I don't know what we're doing, Grapes. We just cannot fucking train a winner at the moment.
Couldn't get one over the line. We had 8 seconds or something in 10 starters.
Yeah. Any more seconds, you would have had a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thanks, mate.
Anyway.
Use another one of me lines.
Anyway, you're running a place here and a place there and fourth here and fifth there, but the fifth would have been, you know, an absolute gut-busting run from something that you're happy with, but you just couldn't train a winner, and you're going, this is when you start to doubt yourself, and you're going, what the fuck's going on? Why aren't we training winners? And then all of a sudden, bang, 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 8 winners in 30 starts, or whatever the fucking 5 winners in 30 starts, whatever the stat was.
I think you
How
were right the first one. I think it was
how's
8.
the ups and downs, mate? Like,
Oh, mate, penthouse to the shit house.
why does, not why, but why does that happen? I don't know.
I don't, mate. It goes in ebbs and flows, and it doesn't matter how big you are.
Is
how
that
little you are.
because of how much fucking luck it
Yeah,
needs to go your
it
way?
probably is, in a sense. It probably is, in a sense. And then there's times when you have those runs, and you go, "Fuck me."
Yeah. What are we doing right?
What? Like, everything is right. All the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. Like, the round pegs are in the round holes, the square pegs are in the square holes. Everything is where it should be. Why aren't these fucking things extending and getting over the line?
Is it a matter of just trusting the process? Know that
Exactly.
you do a fucking good job, and that you just stay consistent with doing it no matter what.
Could
Trust
not
it.
have said it any better, Tommy Dale. That is exactly what it is. Trust your process.
Yeah.
Don't change, like In Excess said. Just be what you are, do what you do,
Yeah.
and eventually the tide will turn, as Keto says.
Well,
Yeah.
mate,
So you've
fucking-
got to go, right, I've done this before and we've trained fucking winner after winner. you've got to back yourself.
You have to back yourself.
Back yourself in.
Put the pill under your arm, son, and go on a run.
Mate, I know. I watched this thing a while ago. Tom Hanks was sitting there with a heap of people, and he was saying,
Forrest.
you think Old Forrest.
Oh, Forrest.
Lieutenant Dan.
He's saying, you think everything's going well and you're deadly, this too shall pass.
Exactly.
And then he's
Yep.
like, well, you're down in the dumps, you're over it, something's shit, this too shall pass. Like, as in ups and downs, but just fucking consistency with no matter what you do. If you stay consistent, you know your shit and you just believe in yourself.
Trust your process.
Yeah.
Trust your works. Like, trust your work, as in, when I say your work, trust your track work regime. Trust your feeding game. Trust your supplement game. Trust everything.
Yeah.
And eventually the tide will turn. Tony Gollan's done it. Robert Heathcote's done it. Chris Muntz has done it.
Yeah.
Kelly Sweet has done it. Everyone has those runs.
Yeah.
You might have 50 starters and not win a race.
How important is it, Barbs, to have your whole team? So how many blokes at the stable are working together for the same cause sort of thing?
So we've got...
This is quite a small
Yeah, we're a
operation.
small operation. So we've only got, I think at the minute we've got 28 in work or something.
Yep.
But...
Just real quick, in work, just elaborate
in
there.
training.
Yeah.
So
I mean blokes, sorry. How many blokes?
No, I'm getting it.
Yeah,
No.
sorry.
So we got 4 work riders, the boss, myself, and 3 others on the ground.
Yep.
Henry, Pete, and Zane.
And what I was sort of getting with that is how important is it to have everyone on the same page with the direction you're going in a stable?
The boys at the stables know the process.
Yep.
They know what happens. We all work together. We're a team, and it can't be. It's fucking imperative. It's like anything in the world. Like, okay, so Lindsay's the trainer. Don't get me wrong. Like, you boys call me a horse trainer, and yet, okay, I am. But
Yeah, go into that, how, as well, so that people understand that you are a horse trainer, but the license to train isn't your license.
and I don't make all the decisions. Like, we're a team. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
We are a team. And like I said to you boys on the phone the first night I was ever on the show, a horse trainer just doesn't train horses by himself. They've got to have good work riders. They've got to have good staff. They've got to have good farriers. They've got to have good vets. They've got to have good everything. Chiropractors, fucking muscle manipulators, all that sort of stuff. Dentists.
Yeah.
Like,
so much goes into it,
like,
eh?
that's what I was getting at.
outrageous.
Like before, when I said about blokes putting their own health second, these things get treated like
Kings
yeah,
and
like
queens.
like proper sportsmen. Like they are.
Yeah. Well, they are athletes.
Exactly. And
Equine athletes.
everything that the Broncos get, our racehorses get.
Yeah.
They're on a nutrition-based diet. They're on fucking an exercise regime that's tailored to every individual. They've got chiropractors. They've got fucking dentists. They get everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Look, you rang me the other day, Gropes. You know, what are you doing? I said, I'm just ultrasounding one.
Yeah.
Like he had a tear in his rump. So I'm using an ultrasound machine to fix that abnormality. Like, Pete, this is what the activists and...
Physio too, this bloke.
You know what I mean? Like,
Singer, physio, fucking trainer.
those are the things that people don't see.
Yeah.
Like, you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're okay, track work lasts till 8 o'clock. I could be there till 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then start the afternoon shift.
Why is that? Why is track work so early?
So the whole premise behind it is work them in the coolest part of the day.
Yeah. Right.
So they're not overexerting.
Sweating and stuff.
Yeah. So every athlete, doesn't matter whether you're a racehorse or a fucking rugby league player or a 100-metre sprinter, anyone that is a prime athlete, it's overexertion. They all bleed internally. They all have ulcers. It's all because of overexertion. So if you can negate that exertion, i.e. working them in the coolest part of the day, you're half a chance.
Well, mate, putting it in Reggie terms, if you're going to go for a fucking run around the block, you're not doing it at midday, are you?
No, that's right.
No, I'm not doing it 1 p.m. Fuck that.
I'm not doing it at all. But
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know.
But I think that's
And that's pretty fucking plain and simple. I don't do it.
Is it important that you do that? Because obviously this would be the hardest part for me anyway, if I was in that game is you can't communicate with the fucking animal.
That's the thing.
So you can't. You have to know if it's if it's walking funny or if it's running funny. You've got to know, hey, there's something up here. We don't want to put it into work today.
So a lot of that comes down to experience.
Yeah.
Knowing, looking at a horse walk away from you, like the two of you blokes and even Quinn, like everyone, you should all look at one just walking along.
And wouldn't have a fucking clue.
Wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah.
I can watch one walk away from me and go, he's soaring that off front foot.
Yeah.
He's soaring that near hind foot. Or he's soaring that stifle. Or he's soaring that fetlock. And the other side of that is having your work riders. There's a lot of blokes that can ride horses. There's a lot of women that can ride horses. There's not a lot of good ones.
Yeah, so you're saying when they're doing track work, running around the track.
You need to know when there's a flat tyre.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
because you can't ask the horse.
No, you can't.
Obviously.
And you have to. That is still Lindsay's brother Darren. I have to give him a shout out.
Darren Goff.
Darren Goff. That's his name.
Bullshit.
No, I'm fucking
The
telling
English
you.
cricketer?
No, he's a fucking better bloke too.
Yeah, I bet. Although that cunt took a hat trick on fucking Boxing Day test.
Yeah, but
One
who
time.
gives a fuck? He's a pom.
Anyway,
And
Darren Goff.
he never won a Gold Coast Jockey's Premiership as an apprentice
No,
either. Like
fucking oath he
like my Darren fucking Goff did. Darren Goff. Daz, I know you'll listen to this. Demon, you're a fucking champion. I love you to pieces. And he's the best work rider in Brisbane by a fucking furlong.
Get that into your listeners.
If you don't know what a furlong is, that's a racing term. It means 200
Means
metres.
200
I
metres.
thought it was just a long stretch of pubes.
No, when they say inside the last furlong,
Yeah.
it means they're inside the last 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
It's a-
come the last 50 metres seems to be like fucking a K? When you got one in front...
No, Tommy, that only happens when you've had your fucking fat on the one in front.
Yeah, fuck me, man.
It's like it's like if you're loading them on the float, like this thing around the stables, like you load one on the float or you turn one around in the tie-up stalls or something like that, and they kick, and you go, eat up. The only time you're allowed to kick is when you're 3 in front at the furlong.
Fucking oath.
The furlong, I love it. That's more of a European term. They use it over there, I
Yeah,
reckon.
they do, but we use it in Australia to talk, like the terminology for track work. So if you're giving one a gallop, like fast work, if I said, so Daz jumps on one, leg him up,
Goffy.
Daz, just go 4 and 2 and 25.
Right, I was explain that.
I was just going to say, you're all looking at me like I've got 3 heads. So 4 and 2 and 25 means go 4 furlongs, so half mile, 800 metres, and you run even time, which is 15 seconds to the furlong, from the half mile to the 600, then from the 600 to the 400, so you should be running that 400 metres in 30 seconds.
Yep.
And then in 25 means kick home your last 2 in 25. So you improve to 13, then you improve to 12.
Yep.
Darren will blow up about that because I know the way he likes to work and he goes 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. But
And what the good, obviously, Darren knows, righto, I've just gone 12 seconds to a furlong
if you said to Darren, I'm going to put a stopwatch on you, you need to run 4 and 2 in 25. So 25, so he'd run 54.9 or 50.1. Like, he is that good on his times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't wear a beeper.
That's awesome, mate.
He is that fucking good.
Yeah.
He's
See
done it
what-
all his life, and he is that fucking good at it. And sit anything that bucks, anything that pulls, he is just a gun.
That's fucking great to have someone like that on your team.
He
mate.
is he is the backbone of the joint.
Yeah.
Does he just do track work for you, Bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
He is just, he's
You're
he's
talking
50
about-
odd year old, and he just gets on him like he don't give a fuck.
You're talking about M-Barbs and how good that is. In the industry that like mining industry or whatever industry you're in, there's always those blokes, right, who can talk the talk about
they
what
always
they know.
can't walk
Is
the walk.
there a heap of blokes in the racing industry like that have say all the right things like to everyone, but when it actually comes to training the horses, It doesn't show. Is that a big thing in
The racing industry is the biggest shit-talking industry than the podcasting
Oh,
industry.
I reckon you're fucking spot on there.
Dead set. You'll get some deadly cunt walking and go, I can do this, I can do that. You can't do shit! For argument's sake, we put an ad out for a work rider. This is going back 2 or 3 years ago. And...
Yeah, I applied for that, cunt.
You were too happy, mate. So this Sheila inboxes the Facebook page and goes, oh,
here we go. Do not name her.
I'm not naming anyone, fuck you. So, I can ride work, I can ride time gallops, I can ride babies, I can do all this.
I can what?
I can ride baby, like young 2-year-olds, yearlings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
breakers, basically. Yeah. Anyway, so she turns up. She's got these fucking boots on that go up to here.
Saddle Club vibes.
Up to the knee.
100% Saddle Club vibes.
Oh, Christ.
Jodhpurs.
Jodhpurs?
Jodhpurs come from Jodhpur in fucking India. But, like, Joddy's on these fucking great big, they look like CFM boots. Like, they come fuck me's. Like, seriously, they were that fucking tall. I'm going, what in the fuck? So I put her on, I dead set, saddled this horse up, put her on the quietest fucking thing in the joint, dead set. If either of you blokes wanted to ride one work, I'd put you on this horse.
Yeah. Fuck me.
The CFM.
Have you never heard that? BT edit that out.
No, fuck no.
That's great.
So she's got the CFM. She's on the quietest horse in the stable.
It bolted 3 laps. It threw her, just got rid of, give it the Shaminda, and just went 3 laps. Flat out. I went, what in the fuck? I'm thinking to myself, I even said to Darren
Hold
goes,
the fuck on.
Yeah. Darren goes, fucking where have you got this from, bruss? I went, I don't know what's going on here. If this horse gets rid of her, what the fuck are we going to do? He goes, well, she's fucking no hope if this cunt gets rid of her.
Yeah.
It got rid of her, all right. Just, all it did, it read, spun, plop. She just went, oh, here you go, bang. Off the side of it, and then this thing just went fucking see ya.
So talk us through the first communication when you two met after watching that happen.
It's
I'm looking
giving
forward
it
to
a
this.
Shaminda.
Speaking of Shaminda, she didn't last long.
Yeah. That was her one and only day at track work.
Exactly.
Fucking hell.
I said, are you fucking kidding me? She went, she was English too. It's poor girl.
Oh, stop.
What? No, she's a lovely girl. I will say she's a lovely girl.
Yeah, but we don't need to describe her because now she knows who she is.
As long as you don't say her name, continue.
She definitely listens. So
Does she?
yeah, fucking oath she would.
So
Who doesn't?
yeah, you're right. So I've gone, what the fuck happened there? She goes, she just reared up and spun round. And I went, what? How? I said, I would put my 2-year-old fucking nephew on this horse. I don't know what happened. I went, fuck me. Listen, thanks for coming, love, but see ya.
There's the gate.
Yeah, don't let it hit you on the arse on the way out.
take your
Because the ground already has.
Oh, that's fucking gold.
Mate, it was
that
one of
is
the
definitely
funniest-
that happens in every industry.
Yeah, of course it does.
So
mate, 100%.
I've got a great yarn on that actually. So I had never entered the mining game ever. I'd always been heavy industry, but not mining. So machinery. And I've come back from I was living over in Austria. I've come back, needed a job, hit up a mate. He goes, yeah, I can get you on out at the mines. And I said, oh, right, I've never really done that. I'll give it a go. Got on straight away.
This as a lecky, yeah?
Yeah, because they had a couple of fleets of electric drive trucks.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah, sweet, right, I'll head out there. And I went out there first day, and I was like, this is a different fucking game to what I've ever been in. And I was labour hire, and the
bullshit.
fucking industry is just built on labour hire. So
really?
So that you can fuck cunts off immediately if you want. And I didn't know any of this.
I didn't know that the morning game was like that.
And I've just gone out there and I met this bloke from Lee Bear. So he worked directly for Lee Bear, which we had a fleet of them.
Yeah.
Had a bloke who worked directly for Komatsu. Fucking, they're mates of mine, good mates of mine now. And I just straight up said to him, I said, boys, never fucking looked at a truck before in my life. I said, I'm a fucking quick learner and I will always listen to what you tell me because you guys know and I do not. Yeah. And they just went, fucking beauty.
Yeah.
Took me under the wing, taught me everything they could possibly, that I could take in. And then I was out there for probably just over a year, maybe 18 months before I left and went back overseas. And I seen that many leckies come out and go, yeah, mate, I've worked on this and I've fucking worked out here on these and I've seen heaps of these T264 Lee Bears. Yeah, I'm all over them. And then the bloke who worked for Lee Bear was fucking good at his job, mate. Like, he did all the fitting and the electrical work. Like, he just knew the truck from
inside
fucking head
out.
to toe.
Yeah.
And he would just ask, if someone come out and said, I know these trucks, I'm all over them. He would just go, oh, yeah, righto. So, and he'd hit him with like this a real simple question.
Like off the cuff.
Just in passing comment,
yeah,
hit him with a question and they'd have no fucking idea. And we'd drive off and he'd go, yeah, he's a useless cunt. And I'm just like, what do you mean? He's like,
saying that
he's got no fucking idea.
In saying that, you're talking about Sparkies. Like, they're all a bunch of strange cunts.
Yeah.
But, mate, that's exactly the same like with me. Started the first wash plant on the Dozers, learning how to load trains. And it was a very small pile, so you didn't have to do much like maintenance on it to push them out and build benches and shit, because it was like as soon as there was enough coal, you fucking pushed it in the hole. So I knew how to drive the cunts, but hadn't done all the major work on them, stockpile maintenance. And went to the next bigger place that was everywhere. And instead of charging in going, mate, I've loaded fucking hundreds of trains, you just go in. I said, Brass, I know how to drive the cunts. I know how to push a full blade of coal. However, I've never had to push stockpiles out and manage it much. Said, so teach me, put me with someone who can, and I'll fucking hook in.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing in the racing industry is like I said before about the whole setup of like the extra treatments you do when it comes to like, ultrasound and bandaging and things like that. You can't, like, to get someone that's willing to turn around and go, oh, I've never done that before, is so fucking hard, mate.
But you're better off going in and underselling yourself and performing better than what they
100%,
think. Like
100%.
When I was full on confident on the Dozers, like I feel like I was good at it at the end.
Yeah.
If I went to another mine or whatever, I'd just say, yeah, mate, it's okay. Like I've loaded enough trains, I'll go all right, rah, and then you'll smash it and they'll be like, right, this cunt's good. Instead of going fucking all over it, bruss.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Cunt.
But people feel like in mining, feel like they have to, because if they don't perform in that 7 days, they know they'll get the shaminda.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but is it like that?
Yes,
that
it's
flat
proper,
stick.
man.
Just, if 7 days, you're gone.
Well, we had a few leckies, and this is what I'm saying, is they'd come out and they'd bullshit. An old mate who I was mates with, I'm definitely not naming anyone here.
No.
He would just go, he's fucking useless. And then the supervisor would go, oh, how'd old mate go this week? He's shit. And then he wouldn't be back.
That's like, yeah. So
and I'd just be like, fuck me, it is ruthless. Fuck, I'm glad I come out and said I know fuck all.
That's what I mean.
Teach me.
Like, in our industry, the things that you need to do when you first walk in are that fucking simple. I could train a monkey to do the cunts.
Yeah.
Like, start at the bottom and fucking
pick up the shit, rake it over flat, tip the water bucket out, scrub it, fill it up, put some hay in the cunt, and tip that bucket of feed in the feed tin. And they can't do it. Like, there's people out there that can't wrap their fucking head around it.
Yeah.
And it's...
I'm all about giving people a chance, but when it's real simple shit, you're just like, come on, mate.
Gropes, you're talking about coming down in February for a couple of weeks to do a bit of work.
Yeah, I have, actually. Like, just quickly on that. The missus is heading back over to Europe in February for her job.
Yeah.
So I was like, I might take a couple of weeks off work, and I've asked Barbs if it's all good a couple of weeks ago. I said, is it all right if I come down in February, work for free, and just learn?
I can't believe he asked if it was all right. Free fucking labour? Of course you can come.
You've been looking for a big, tall pull-through?
Yeah, exactly.
The block pipe.
So
Just quietly too, bring your tools, cunt, because there's a heap of sparky work.
That's about.
No,
I
honestly-
learn horses and the cunt's just rewiring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, I said I just want to come work for free and just learn for 2 weeks about what goes
And-
in, and I'm fucking. Hopefully, it happens. We'll have to see if it can happen, but hopefully, it does.
But the thing is with that, I'm happy for anyone. Seriously, I'm not going to tell you where we are. I'm not going to give
Woo
numbers
up!
or anything like that.
With your applications,
But
all right?
if you meet me and all that sort of shit, like I'm happy to talk to anyone.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and if you
The
want
cunt
to know,
can fucking talk.
I can fucking yarn. But like, if genuinely, if there is people out there, Reggies, if you've got kids or if you've got anyone that wants to get into the racing industry, hit the boys up. Genuinely, I mean, not carrying on piss taking. If anyone wants to have a crack at it, get in touch with the boys. They'll put you on to me and we can have a chat. Because I'm happy to teach anyone.
Yeah.
I want to grow our industry. Our industry is not a dying industry, but there's not a lot of young people in it. There is, but there isn't. You know what I
Barbs,
mean?
it's one of those things like we said before. You had the pleasure of growing up, learning and loving the industry as a young fella. I'm just saying it'd be hard to just love punting and all of a sudden go, oh, well, I'm going to give it a go. They might be a bit shy going, well, fuck, I don't know about it.
I'll tell you
so
a
I
funny
won't try
story.
it."
I'll tell you a funny story along that line. Brock Ryan, who's a jockey in New South Wales.
Yeah, I know, bro.
That's exactly how he got into it. Him and his mates are just down the pub there at Manly one day at the surf club. And Brock's fucking knee-high to a grasshopper, weighs about 48 kilos, ringing wet. And his mates just all went, why don't you go and be a jockey, cunt? You're fucking toddling away being a plasterer's apprentice lifting sheets that are fucking twice as heavy as you. Well, he just went, I fucking will.
That's right.
And
That's awesome.
you know, like he's built a very steady career as a jockey.
Fucking oath. Barbs, you have worked for some, big trainers. You said you've got a nice small operation going at Lindsay Goff now, but you've worked for Anthony Cummings. You worked for Peter Moody. Now, when you worked for Peter Moody, that was the time that Black Caviar was about.
Yeah, Nelly was there.
Did you have anything to do with her? And if you did, I know you did, what was the experience like having a horse with that aura at your stable that literally the whole fucking world stopped to watch because she never lost a race, 25 starts, 25 wins, 15 Group 1s, $8 million in prize money. The fucking world stopped to watch her.
She was just...
So when you got a horse like that, obviously you can tell. Can you just look at her and go, she will never be beaten?
Yeah, you can. I can remember Moods.
She literally never got out of fucking third gear.
I can remember Moods saying one day to the press something about, I wish she'd just get beat because then she just becomes another horse.
Yeah.
And we upped him on the Monday, like all of us boys, we were upping. Fuck off, Moods. You don't want her to get beat, just like we don't want her to get beat, just like the whole fucking nation doesn't want her to get beat. But I can understand where he was coming from.
Were you there after she'd had her first start? Or
Yeah, so I started... So she had her third start in the Danehill Stakes, and that's when she buckled at the start and tore her chest.
Yeah. And still won.
And still won by a fucking street.
Yeah.
And then she went to the paddock. So she was in the paddock when I got there. I think it was September 2009 or something.
in the paddock means they're not...
She's having a rest.
Yeah. I actually got this written down because when we say in the paddock, it literally means they are standing in a paddock
Being a horse.
doing
Yeah,
nothing.
just being a horse.
If they run
That's
up and
exactly
down,
right, Tommy.
if they run up and down the fence line, obviously that's them, but they are doing nothing.
That's dead set. So a racehorse in work that's in a box that goes to the track, goes to the pool, goes to the races.
That's in work.
That's in work. So
We're going to get back to Black Caviar.
yeah, we will. But when they're in the paddock, that's like they're going to the paddock. If they had mobile phones, they'd be ringing cunts in the paddock. Like
They're
I'd
bored.
No.
They're having a 10 out
Oi,
the
boys!
back.
I'm coming to Gladstone. Let's get on.
It's like after a shuddy, you got
yeah.
a 2 weeks off where you get to crack
It's
a
Mad
beer,
Monday.
chill out a bit, eat shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's their enjoyment.
They're
just
doing fuck all.
get their heads down,
Yeah.
be a horse.
Yeah.
Let them be a horse.
Yeah. So Caviar went to the paddock after the Danehill after she's tore her chest.
Yeah. So I got there. She come in probably 6 weeks later. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. There was box 1, box 2, box 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Box 1 was Black Caviar. Box 2 was Avenue. Box 3 was Typhoon Tracy. Box 5 was Headway. Box 8 was Set for Fame. 5 individual Group 1 winners
In the same stable.
in 8 boxes.
Fuck.
There was 40 boxes in the joint. Imagine what was in the other fucking 20, 32 of them. So, but Nelly had this aura about her. You stood at a. It's hard. I don't know if it's the same for everyone else, but when you know what you're looking at, she had this, and like I can remember my family coming to Melbourne, and giving them a tour of the stables and showing them her, and my mum, who is salt of the earth, the greatest woman on planet Earth. She's never been big into the racing industry. Her family were wheat farmers and truck drivers. Dad's family was the racing game. And mum, obviously, when mum and dad were first together, you know, she'd go down the stables and fuck around. Her favourite horse's name was Sheer Zone. Nicky was his name. And Nicky was the one that stopped her from handling horses. She loved him to pieces, and all of a sudden he got the wind blew up his ass one day, reared up, she shit herself, that was the end of it. Never touched another one. She stood at her box door, looked over the door and went, does she glow like that all the time?
Yeah.
I said, it's like an aura around her, isn't it, Mum?
Wow.
And mate, she was special, like
Yeah.
proper special. She'd just stand she was nothing, she didn't make a fuss or anything. She'd just stand at the back of the box, do her thing. She might come up for a pat every now and again. But if you walked in that box door with a bucket and your handful of feed, she'd fucking bowl you clean over.
Well, she was fucking massive.
620 kilos was her racing weight.
Hind quarter was just.
She had an ass like fucking made J-Lo's cunt look small.
That would have been awesome getting the chance to work
Mate.
with a horse of that calibre.
So my uncle, Johnny Barbary,
JB.
next to Darren Goff, second best work rider I've ever fucking dealt with.
What's the why don't these two blokes fucking ride on Saturdays?
Because they're too fucking heavy.
Too heavy. Yeah, righto. Thought it was that simple, but I just wanted
They're
to
as
check.
long as you cunt. They've got fucking 2 arseholes. If they fell over here, they'd be in fucking Rockhampton. Like,
Anyway.
but there's an old saying, jockeys don't make work riders and work riders don't make jockeys.
Yeah.
Mate, before we move on from that bit, was Peter a moody cunt or what?
No. I'll tell you what he was. I'll tell you what he really was. He was one of the best bosses I've ever had.
Yeah,
So he had a system. Everyone knew the system.
Yep.
If you fucked the system up, he would the best cook you'll ever get. He would bake you, and it wouldn't matter where you were, who was there.
Yep.
He would bake. He'd make a great footy coach.
Yeah.
He would just fucking spray you. But 15 minutes later, go down to the pie shop, get me a pie, get yourself a cunt too. You'd have to come back with 3 or 4 of them for him, otherwise he'd blow up because he'd eat one in about fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah.
He was such a good fella.
And that's good, though. Like you said, the consistency thing, right?
Yeah.
And he had a way it worked, and that's how it goes.
There was no 3 days later, give you another bake because of what happened. It was just, it's done. Let's move on.
Yeah.
You know, he'd ask you another question, and you would never feel like, you would never go, oh, I don't want to fucking answer the cunt because he just cooked me.
Yeah.
You know what it's like when you get a bomb at work and you go, oh, fuck, I don't really want to talk to the cunt now.
What do you reckon would have happened? So I reckon they laugh about it. But what do you reckon would have happened to Lukey Nolan if in the Diamond Jubilee at Royal Ascot when he eased up on her? What do you reckon would have happened if that thing coming down the outside had beaten her by her nose?
Nothing.
True. So, Tommy, just a bit of, and for everyone else,
Royal Ascot.
Black Caviar goes over to the
England.
UK and goes to Royal Ascot to run in the Diamond Jubilee, which is a big, massive sprint race over there. She's in front by about 4 or 5 lengths with 50 to go, and Luke Nolan just eases up on her.
He sat up on her like she
literally
coasted.
sits up on her like they've gone past the line already.
Yeah.
And this thing he couldn't see it, down the fucking outside
St.
fence.
Marie, St. Cloud, or
And with
St.
about
Marie's Cloud or something.
with about 10, 15 metres to go,
It's put in a dive.
Nolan sees it, pushes
gets to work.
Caviar again to like fucking run, and she gets there by heart like it wasn't even a photo. I reckon it was. It was a clear.
It was a neck.
There was a clear margin
think
there,
the
but
margin
it
was
was
a short
like,
neck or something.
holy fuck, cunt! You would have just
It's the shortest margin she ever won by.
and wasn't her fault.
No.
And what
It wasn't even Trump's
So
fault.
you reckon that
Nothing.
nothing would have happened
Mood still says to this day, he should never have started her.
in the race?
Yep. She went over there. She lost a shitload of weight on the flight. No.
Did the is this?
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She didn't lose a lot of weight on the plane. She wouldn't eat when she got there.
Right.
And then he mated her up with this grey stallion next door to her. Like, you'd never put mares next to a stallion. This bloke didn't know this stallion, he didn't know what it was for. He still thought it was for pissing out of. And he just made it up with her like they were just best friends.
True.
And she started to eat. She barely ate when she got there.
See that? That's just shit you'll never know.
Yeah.
And then,
Is that so he said he shouldn't have started her? Is that an ownership thing? They go, nah.
no. I don't, to this day, I don't know.
Who has the final word?
Well, it depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
My grandfather had a great saying. Owners would carry on and I want this, I want that. Grandpa would just look at him and go, listen, mate, you sell cars for a living. I train racehorses for a living. When the fridge is broken down, you don't ring a fucking bricklayer. The owners go, I pay the fucking bills. Yeah, well, fucking sit there and pay them, cunt. I'll fucking do your fucking job. I'll train the fucking thing.
When the fridge is broken, you don't call a fucking bricklayer.
Yep.
That's
That,
right.
That is
was
glorious.
his. That was his fucking line.
Oh, that's fucking good.
Love you, EJ.
Yeah. On your
Fucking
granddad.
oath. That's brilliant, mate.
It's fucking awesome to know, like, just a little bit. Obviously, we're still fucking not even at the skin.
Haven't
of it.
even scratched the surface.
And the things that have got to go into this. All we see on a Saturday, Reggies, we see the fucking jockey get off the horse, get his saddle, go and weigh in. They might talk to the trainer. We'll see the strapper sort of walk it around. But
Barbs.
that fucking horse has dentists, physios, fucking track work riders. There's a crew of 30 people that would watch that horse win and go, get a little smile and go, I had fucking something to do with that.
Like
Well,
when I say, like when you asked before how many blokes are at the stable, so we've got 4 work riders, me, the boss, and 3 other dudes. That's just in the day-to-day runnings of it. Like, if we get a winner, our vet will send me a message, Mark McGarry, shout out Marky. Our chiropractor, Shane Marsh, shout out Marshy. They'll all send me a text message with a thumbs up or well done or,
Yeah.
you know, and it's not, oh, I'm a deadly cunt because I had something to do with it. They all understand.
Proud.
Exactly.
Proud.
They understand how much goes into it. And it's just
Barbs, can you give us a quick rundown for someone like me who is oblivious to it sort of thing? Say they come out of the paddock, right, and they've just had a spell. Like just a quick sort of run through of like how to start it and what sort of fitness thing you do with them. Just a little bit of a brief rundown because I'd have no idea.
Just a real...
up
Cause
until the race.
so it's really different for every horse.
yeah,
but
exactly.
Keyword generally.
Yeah, generally. So, like, generally,
To get a horse from stood in the paddock for 3 months to having its first start.
Yeah.
generally,
pretty much.
like, it takes probably the guts of 15, 16 weeks.
Yeah.
They come in, they got no shoes on. A lot of stables will shoe them. We don't. We like them to wear their hooves naturally, their natural breakover. We put shoes on them when they're ready to trial.
Yep.
And there's so many fucking stables that go, you're fucked in the head for doing that. Oh, what if they stand on a stone? So they stand on a fucking stone. If they've got shoes on, they're still going to stand on a fucking stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it elevates it by about 8 mil.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. So they just go to the track every day. Just go to track work, just steady. They canter around the track. They go a lap. They go a lap of the dirt at Eagle Farm, which is about 1,850, I think.
Just cantering.
Just cantering.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they trot off for about a furlong and then they just canter.
Yeah.
Just slow and steady, like 22 to the furlong, something like that. Then after about 8 weeks, they start going a bit even time. 15 to the furlong in a gallop. Like
15 seconds per 200 metres,
Yep.
that is.
Look at Groper learning very quickly. And then as they come into their prep, as we get deeper in, they might do that for 2 weeks on a Tuesday and a Thursday and a Saturday. So they have a gallop every second day at that stage of their prep. Then as they move on to that, as like I was saying, 4 and 2, like I said before, 4 and 2, they might do a bit of 4 and 1, then a bit of 4 and 2, and as they go out in distance, the further you've got to gallop them over. So we've got a horse there at the minute. Grand Shanghai is the best 2-miler in fucking southeast Queensland.
Oh.
He won the Jericho Cup qualifier at the Gold Coast last year on Melbourne Cup Day and went 2.5 seconds fucking quicker than the Melbourne Cup. The cunt should have been at headquarters. But instead he was at Aquas Park, Gold Coast. And
You can't go off times, though.
No, you can't. But because he's a benchmark 58 at poor cunt. Anyway, something to run 2 mile, you want to gallop them over 10 furlongs because, like 2,000 metres, because it's all relative to how far you've got to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So you work off half mile from the start because 9 out of 10 horses are going to have their first start at 1,000 metres in a prep.
Yep.
If they're a speedy little squib, you might find a 900-metre race down the Gold
At the
Coast
Goldie,
or
yeah.
at Gatton or somewhere like that. But 9 out of 10 horses are going to have their first start over 1,000 metres.
Yep.
So that's where you work. And then as you go further out and trip, so if you're going to go 1,000 metres, you might, if they're a staying type, like they're going to need ground, you might start them over 1,200 first up.
Staying means staying
They're going to
horse.
stay all day.
Yeah. Staying horse is like over 2,000 metres, would you say?
No, 2,000 is probably middle distance, like 2,400.
Anything over 2,400, they call it a staying race because obviously it's a long race.
They've got to stay there to win it.
Yeah. So just a bit of terminology again,
Yeah,
mate.
of course. But so like as they move out and trip, they gallop over further, and like for argument's sake, that horse that I was talking about running the 2 mile race, he on his main, if he's going to run 2 mile tomorrow, Tuesday, he would have had his main piece of work. What day? It's Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so if he was going to go 2 mile tomorrow, he would have had his main piece of work on Wednesday, and he'd go a lap of the track cantering first, and then work off from say the 2,000 metre mark.
Yeah.
And run up his last 600 in 37, 38
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where it'd be all different because you've got horses that are going to run, like you say, 1,000 metres first
Yeah.
up and build into maybe a 1,200 metre race because they're a sprinter. Whereas if you're going to run 2 miles, you don't want to run 2 miles in and race until you're, 4th, 5th up?
Third of, well, it depends on how good a stayer they are. If they can stay all day, a lot of them can hit it. And this is one thing that Peter Moody did really, really well to start off. He's half a pioneer in it. Starting stayers first up over a mile, first up over 1,800.
Yeah.
They do that in Europe all the time, whereas in Australia, like it was fucking unheard of. Start them over 1,400 first up. But Mood, I can remember Moods had a horse called Managar that OTI Racing bought. Luca Kamani used to train him in England. And Moods got him, went, I'm just going to start the Carline Cup first up at a mile. Everyone went, Moody's lost the fucking plot here. What happened? He shit it! One before! At 30 to 1!
He shitted. Yeah, that's one thing I've learned off you is that if they're a 2 mile horse, they want to run 3,200 metres in fucking Sydney Cup, Melbourne Cup,
Oh, they'll sprint good
whatever
fresh.
cup. first up over 1800, and they'll ping first up.
Gold Trip 2 weeks ago.
And I'm like, how? How would you know that?
That's just the way it is.
And when you say they sprint well fresh, it's not a sprint race. It's obviously a middle distance race, but to them it is a sprint because
correct.
they're looking for fucking 3,200 metres.
Yeah.
So here's a little thing, like that thing that you just said, it just happens. And like when you put the blinkers on and you see it's the first time that's happening, that's fucking. Is there any others that you look at for an average Joe to go, might have a stab at that because of that reason?
Well, that's,
you know what I'm saying?
it all comes down to the way you do your form, Tommy. You've got to look at, you've got to look at what they've raced over previously and all that sort of shit. So if they're a horse that's got, if you look at that, I know you're a heavy looker at the fucking last 10, like beside the form, like X, 1, 3, 5, 4, 5.
Well,
1,
like
1,
I
1.
reckon a heap of people.
100%, right? So if you look at that and then you look further into the form, 1, say it's last 3 starts, it's 1, then there's an X.
Yeah.
If you look at the form in depth and there's 2,800, 2,600, 2,400, well, he stays.
Yeah.
And he's first up over a mile. Fuck it, I'm going to have something each way because he will sprint well fresh.
Yeah,
And you never know which ones are going to do it, though.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
You know,
You're dead right. Like Gold Trip the other day, it was the biggest run anywhere in Australia.
Yeah.
It was bigger than Ben Hur.
So Gold Trips won the Melbourne Cup last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was first up over, what was that, mile?
Mile.
Yeah, first up over 1,600.
No.
So it was.
Was it a mile or 1,800?
No, it didn't. Who won it? Brightside.
Pinstripe.
Pinstripe won it, yeah. Anyway, about half the distance is what he'll run the
What he
Melbourne Cup
normally
again
does.
this year,
Yeah.
and that's his target race. So
Yeah.
he's targeting the Melbourne Cup, but first up over half that distance in that last 100 metres. Holy fuck!
If he
me.
didn't break 11, I'm not fucking sitting.
It was like he flew, and he ran 4th or 5th, and that's what people won't see. The owners of that horse would have watched that and fucking.
They'd have had a stiffy.
They would have got a stiff one
Yeah.
because they've gone, he's back. Like,
Yeah,
first
that's
up,
proper.
he's back. He's run 5th, and everyone will look at it and go, he's fucking run 5th.
And I don't think
But-
his trials were too good either. Like he trialled up pretty ordinary.
Yeah.
They was like sort of flat. And
Yeah, well, I'll tell you another one who fucking trialled up ordinary there. Really, really ordinary trialled was V8. And then the cunt come out
Shut
and
the fuck up,
absolutely
Brian.
flew and won first up. And I was blowing up. I'm like, I watched all these form shows. I like V8 as a horse. Backed it a heap of times. Well, the three,
hang on.
3 times
You like
last prep.
V8? What about when you rung me and went, I like Vape?
No, I didn't. I
No,
said,
I'm just fucking doing it.
Anyway, the 3 starts it's had, I'd backed it every time. And I watched like 3 or 4 form shows and they all went, V8's trial was terrible. I can't have it. And I didn't even watch the trial. I went, fuck. Right, I won't back it. Comes out, first up, flies, wins. I went, fuck me, I'm never never watching another show again.
Just quietly, who was Barbs' best that day?
Yeah, run second.
It'll fucking win today.
Yeah, legacies. Anyway, we can't talk about that because this is going to air in however many weeks. I don't know. You got anything else, Tommy? Because I've had a fucking great time here today. That's been awesome.
Look, I think it's one of those things that this won't be the last sort of chat to do with this. And like we've talked about on the show, we've already said, like heading after both codes of footy season finishes, I think there'll be a lot more content to do with the racing and punting and stuff like that. So, mate, it's not going to be the last time having you on. Like we said, I've literally got 20 questions in my head. But it's one of those things that I think you just space out. We've given them a taste,
100%.
and then you just retouch on it.
We'll have to get him back on the jet.
We could go for 4 days.
We'll have to save up again. We'll have
to save our money to jet him up here again, and we'll get him on again.
Jet him up again. Fucking please. I battled the Bruce all the way up, you cunts.
But nah, Barbs, it was unreal getting you on, mate.
That was awesome. I hope you enjoyed yourself, mate.
Mate, I've had a fucking ball. I can't, like...
It's been nice to just sit here and do fuck all and let you talk.
We've literally, like, me and Rox just... I got home from track work yesterday, and Rox and I call her Mrs. Barbs of Brisbane Horseman, but she's literally going to be Mrs. Barbs. Like, I'm going to marry the fuck out of this girl.
Oh, God, he's fucking...
I'm just going to give her a shout out. I love her to pieces. And I don't think there's anything fucking bad about
No,
that.
No,
And
there's
love
not.
Story,
But it's our-
baby, just
Oh,
say
don't
yes.
even go there on the Taylor Swift.
It's
She's a fucking Swiftie from way back. But it's our first trip away together, coming up here to see you blokes. And I got home from track work yesterday morning, and I was like a fucking kid in a candy shop, packing the car. I'm like, we're going away together, darling. I can't wait.
You should have seen me.
Hey?
Fuck, should have seen me.
Oh, don't worry. I've got the text messages to prove it. Groper's had a horn for 4 days.
A bone
that
that a
excited.
dog couldn't chew through.
I've been that keen.
And I'll tell you what you did do last night, Gropes. You fucking produced.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Hosted
yeah.
well.
Groper,
Hosted well.
Groper
host.
hosted well. He did the Reggiest feed you've ever seen. These fucking steaks were about a mile thick, cooked to perfection.
Yep.
You've
No,
done
it was
you
good.
did-
I do a good hosting job. So does Wendy. How's Barbs walks into his room? There's
Towels on the bed.
Fucking rooms.
The only
clean.
thing missing was a chocolate on the pillow.
Okay, sorry. I'll get a.
I'm not having a go at you when I say
He'll
that.
I'll
lay
get
it-
a fucking mint slice.
We'll lay a little nard on it next time. Oi, is the Bone Cup going to be happened already before this comes out?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Well, that will be a fucking great time.
That was a great time.
That was the best fucking time.
fucking oath.
I just can't. It's one of those things that I was saying before. Like, I might have been saying it last night. I can't fucking remember. But like, Keto, I speak to Keto more than I speak to Gropes. Gropes
Keto's taking a bit of heat off me, which is nice.
Gropes
Sharing
reckons,
him round.
Gropes reckons I ring him every day. What a fucking crock of shit. Keto rings me 3 times a fucking week, and it's like he's like a father figure. So I've never.
He is.
No, I mean I don't mean to fuck. I was telling Tommy last night, like Tommy, you boys have been mates since we were in fucking kindergarten.
Yeah.
I've never met the man, and I feel like I could ring him about anything.
Oh, he
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
you.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to get to Bowen and just get right on it with the bloke.
Get
Oh,
into
yeah.
our work.
Get really stuck into
I'm taking
me
me work boots. I'm taking a high-vis shirt and a pair of fucking hard yakka shorts because the cunt's like, you'll be fucking working from the time you get up here till the time you go home.
Yeah, well,
Fuck off, kid.
You're not, though.
No, I know
It's-
you're not.
It's fuck around.
I'm
work.
doing that as a piss
You
take.
set up a few tables. That's about it.
Yeah, I'll be.
And you get free piss to do it.
fucking oath.
Anyway.
Fucking oath.
Boys, it's been awesome. This will not be the last time.
No way.
Fucking
Fucking
Barbs.
not a hope.
I've
You've
loved
got
it.
me now.
Yeah.
You've got me for fucking
Like we
ever.
said, we've probably got another fucking 4 million questions.
Yep.
Hopefully, yous enjoyed that as much as we did because I fucking loved that.
Yeah, me too.
Just scratching the surface of the racing industry was just
Yep.
awesome. It was unreal to listen to.
Yep.
I was that fucking focused on you the whole time. I
Oh,
was,
fucking
honestly,
I don't think I've looked down the barrel.
honestly,
of
I
an
was just
episode.
genuinely interested in everything you had to say there. So
The
thanks for
thing
coming
is,
on, mate.
The thing is, with our industry, we don't get a chance to talk about it. So if I get a chance, I'll fucking yarn about it.
Oh, I know you will.
Yeah, fucking oath. And everyone remember the Moya.
The Moya.
The fucking-
Moya.
They'll have dropped already.
Yeah.
They'll have dropped. Everyone will have the Moyas.
You've
So-
you've already seen a fucking comparison, like an example, but these shirts.
Oh.
If I see
Well, they've
any-
got them already, mate.
I know, but if I see a fucking Reggie at the Hamilton Hotel
With
in
a
a
Moya.
fucking Moya shirt, I'll root your leg.
And on that note, we're about to go do some leg rooting. So
I'm going to go drink piss.
get into
Same
your
here.
work.
See ya.
See ya.